Is this thing on? Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most to start your girlfriends and your wives. Now, I've been talking about this for a while. I've done a video about it ages ago, about Action Comics #1, the original Superman comic, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster and written by them, is going to be under public domain. So I think it's Action Comics #1. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments down below. I don't know everything, but it's still my plan, once that does go into public domain, to make a film about the original Superman idea. So what that means is that it's going to public domain, that you can only make a movie of the original version of Superman. Again, correct me if I'm getting my facts wrong. This basically means you're boxed into doing a certain version of Superman. There's no Fortress of Solitude. He doesn't fly, he jumps from skyscraper, he leaps from skyscraper to skyscraper. So you have to use that. You can't have him flying, there's no Brainiac, so you're boxed in to certain things within the Superman lore. But I find that a great challenge. I would love to adapt Jerry and Joe's original idea for Superman. Have him be the Superman that they envisioned. Because the reality is, as much as Dick Donald was as faithful as possible to their idea, I don't think anyone's really kind of actually been as accurate as they could be with Jerry and Joe's concept. So, as I've mentioned to you many times, I have written an unofficial Superman movie script. And that was going to be about the Elite, Metallo, Superman, and part of that story was going to be Superman having flashbacks to the Second World War, where the allies and governments of the world were pressurizing him to kill Hitler, to kill the Nazis, and he refuses. The reason he has this flashback, because basically Manchester Black and the Elite are pressuring Superman into killing Metallo, and Superman won't do it. So what you do is, you can't use Metallo, because the public domain is pretty much the original concept of Superman. But what you can do, you can make this film, or my idea is to make this film a period piece, set in 1938, 1939, during the Second World War, and have the whole story that Superman is under pressure, as I say, from the governments of the world to kill Hitler, to kill the Nazis, to take a side. Superman refuses to do this. He's quite happy to help the wounded, block bullets from each side so other people, both sides don't get killed. He doesn't want to take a side, and basically the Allies do not like this. And what happens within my story, they tell him if he doesn't take a side, he should leave the Earth. They want to order him off the planet Earth. So I think in the original Superman idea from Jerry and Joe, they did have him being bulletproof. So I think that's great. I can use that in my movie. So I think you could make a great movie with this, having Superman, this period piece during World War II, make it a World War II movie with Superman, being pulled from one side to the other. I think that's an amazing story and something that hasn't been done before. But before I'd even do that, I would want to make a Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster biopic. And I'm absolutely stunned that James Gunn hasn't done this. And I suggested it to him, right? I mean, it's an obvious thing to do to build up excitement for your movie. Now, what he decided to do was take a documentary other people made, the Christopher Reeve story, and use it to kind of push hype for his own Superman film. It's cheaper. Well, it's not cheap because they spent a lot of money on it, but it means he didn't have to make it. What I'm suggesting is a Jerry and Joe biopic, to actually make a movie, a drama about how they created Superman. We've all heard that story about the hot night in Cleveland, Ohio, where they lived, where they were running from each other's houses, exchanging ideas for Superman. Obviously, this was a partnership. One was a storyteller, and one was an artist, a visual storyteller. So it was a great partnership. This is what used to happen back in the day. Because back in the day, being a comic book writer and a comic book artist was like being a rock star. It was the trend of the day. Imagine, on the eve of maybe the end of the world, World War II, these two kids coming up with an idea that was about to change the world. And Superman did that. So that's what I want to do. Once Action Comics #1, the original concept of Superman, is under public domain, I want to make this movie. I really do. I want to launch a production entertainment company called Movies TV Mad. I think that's a great name. And I want to do movies and I want to do TV as well. So that's my ambition. It's a dream. Dreams don't always come true, but I'm telling you, that's what I want to do. And I want to do a Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster biopic. Like this video if you think that's a great idea.